On this episode of the Wise Counsel Project, we interview Kevin Avery from Atlanta's 104.7 The Fish Morning Show. Join us as Kevin provides wise counsel to men and women of faith. Here with Kevin Avery from 104.7 The Fish. Kevin, thank you so much for being here with us on the Wise Counsel Project.
Yeah, honored and befuddled.
No.
Why? You would ask me.
Well, I'll give you a lot of reasons why as we go throughout this. Now, we started the Wise Counsel Project based upon the Bible verse, Proverbs 13:20, and had you place the Bible there in front of you, and you've had a chance to reflect on it. The verse says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Tell me, if you would, what does that mean to you?
Well, it made me think of the other verse about iron sharpens iron, and you know who you hang out with. I've heard one time the 5 people you spend most of your time with, you're going to pick up their personality traits. That's who you're going to become like. And I think this that reflects this also about the companion of fools too. What's the opposite of iron sharpens iron? You know, if you're hanging around with people and spending time with people who aren't on the same path you are, who aren't trying to become righteous or godly, then you're going to have some problems in your life.
And that's the whole purpose, having wise people come in and provide wise counsel. And you know, I said growing up, I was not the companion of fools. I was the fool. So I appreciate you taking your time to talk with me, talk with our viewers and listeners about this. So how do you think the whole concept behind that Bible verse of iron sharpening iron, how has that affected you on a personal and a professional level?
Well, I think when you surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who are going after the same things you are, it tends to help you stay on course. Like if you were I don't know if your life was like a boat, you can drift off when you're having other people saying like, hey, no, go this way. Hey, no, go this way. When you have people who are pressing on towards the same goal that you are, it helps to stay on course professionally, personally, in every way imaginable. I know when I spend time with people who are rooted in their faith and who are pressing towards the same things I am, it makes my road easier. And it's not that neither of our lives are easy. We all have our issues that we deal with, our struggles that we come up with. But when you have people that understand where you're coming from and will hold you accountable, or will give you a word that's going to encourage you, or maybe help you to see things in a different way that you didn't see before, that's invaluable.
Support and accountability.
Oh, both, yeah. Both are huge important.
Yeah. What steps do you take when you want to seek wise counsel from others?
Usually I have some go-to guys that I'll say like, hey, I'm struggling with this, or I need your advice on something going on. Particularly when it comes to my kids, I'll talk to people that have maybe already have kids that are grown and out of the house and ask them like, hey, ever deal with this? Especially with daughters. I have 3 daughters. I have a son who's grown, graduated college, out of the house, but with daughters, that is a whole new world for me. So I'll talk to guys that have had daughters and have been down the road of dealing with issues that I've never even thought of before.
You brought up kids. You know, nowadays they're so susceptible in so many ways, 24/7 with technology, the cell phones, the texting, the emails. What wise counsel can you give to parents based upon your experience of how to deal with kids that are growing up in today's society?
Yeah, well, the electronic world brings a whole new range of problems. We had a situation with our youngest daughter last year that was really bad with Facebook. And if I had it to do over again, I would, instead of focusing on who did these things to her, I would have focused more on her. How is this affecting her? Not, I wanted to, stand up and protect my daughter and go after the bad guys, where I should have, instead of focusing on whoever the people were, I should have focused on her. And how is she feeling? How is she doing? But I felt like as the protector, I had to, jump up and defend her, where I should have probably put my arm around her and cried with her and comforted her way more than I did. And I don't know if that's a guy thing that we want to jump up and do that or not, but in the electronic world, I would say limit what your kids can do. We didn't have cell phones or internet access for our kids until they absolutely had to have it for school. And when school said they have to have this in the classroom, that's when we took the step. But we set huge parameters with our kids, when they can be on, when they can't, and then just stay involved. We have a rule with all of our kids that if they do have a phone with texting and email, we at any time are going to look at your email. It's not a question of getting their passwords. It's we know them from day one.
The Ronald Reagan trust but verify.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And it's not that we don't trust them, but we do want to be on top of everything that's going on because, you know, with age as parents, we have a perspective that they don't have and can see things that they don't see and help them navigate some of those things that not only come up, but come up more often now with the internet. It's interesting with the internet and Facebook. I've told my kids, it's kind of like we wouldn't let you go to downtown Atlanta by yourself. But on the internet, without supervision, that's kind of what we're doing because you're letting all kinds of people into your world that we don't know, and they're having access to you. We don't want that. In the same way that we wouldn't let you wander around Centennial Park at midnight, you don't belong wandering around the internet at midnight by yourself either.
And you're saying, looking back, you would have focused more on your daughter. Talk to the parents that are dealing with kids that are right now dealing with a bullying situation. What advice or what would you tell them to tell their child as they're going through this right now?
First, that whoever is doing things, particularly anonymously online, those people are not people that you need to give value to. You don't need to give value to their opinion or what they're saying about you. That you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are the apple of God's eye and certainly the apple of mom and dad's eye. And that's, I think, where it all has to begin, reminding them who they are. That whatever is being said or done on Facebook is not who they are. And to just disengage from it, to just leave it alone. Don't worry about that. Get on with being you and who you are. And it's tough. It's a very hard situation to be in.
It is tough, and so many people today seem to put a lot of value in Facebook, Instagram as their validation, is that's where they're going to seek wise counsel.
Right, they do, and that's not where we as adults, I wish we could say that it's just kids that do that, but as adults, we do the same thing. You know, how many likes did I get on this clever posting or whatever the case may be. But I think you need to, that brings up something interesting, you need to model it for your kids. Number one, and then number two, keep reminding them every day at home that is not where we get our value from. First we get it from God, and then we get it from each other here in our own home.
Now, working here at 104.7 The Fish Christian Radio, you guys obviously have a tremendous listening audience. You've been very successful and can have a great impact on people and how they start their day, how they focus their whole attitude when they pull into the parking lot to go to work. But I know you also get some calls from people struggling with issues right now, going through deep, dark times. What seem to be some of the issues that you guys get calls about, and what advice do you give to them when they're going through these dark times?
I think a lot of times people are looking for us to be a friend, to be somebody that they can just say like, hey, I'm going through this issue. Like we had a guy call us this morning who is going through a job situation, going to a job interview on Wednesday. He's been out of work for a while. That's a call we've gotten a lot in the last couple of years. And he just wanted prayer. He just wanted to know somebody had his back as he was driving into, I don't know what number job interview it was, but he was like, you know, this is the one I really am hoping I get. I'm just asking, can you pray? And I think we wind up being that people feel like they know us because they've spent so many years with us driving to and from work or driving the kids to school, that we are people they call and feel like they know and they can trust with some of those things that they're going through. And that's, we do look at it that way, like people are trusting us with some of the things they're going through. It's a huge responsibility, and we try to honor all of those.
And I think there's a collective power of prayer too. When they're calling in seeking this, I think the Fish listeners will certainly rally around that.
Oh yeah, they do. And people want to know what happens. Hey, this guy called in last week. How did that unfold? Did he get the job? People, they genuinely want to know how other Fish listeners are doing. We try to create, a community, and I think it's based on, I think I've shared this with you before. We have a philosophy where we want to exhibit the welcoming heart of God on our show. every day. We feel like that's our calling. There's a lot of shows or talk shows that do other things, but we feel like our job is almost to be like the people in the vestibule at church. We're the people that are glad to see you, we're glad you're here, and we want to be that friendly face that people feel, or voice that feel like they can come back to again and again.
Do you feel like what you do every day is a ministry?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's fun. We have a great time doing what we do. Sometimes I scratch my head and go, wow, they pay me to do this. But yeah, it definitely is, because there are so many people that are hurting or struggling, and just hearing us being friendly and welcoming every day. You know, we've had people call and say, like, I haven't been to church for years, but I listen to you guys every morning. That listening to the Fish and our show makes them feel connected. And you know, it's our hope and prayer that they'll get reconnected, and whatever hurts they have or issues they're dealing with, they'll overcome, and they'll go back to church. But until then, it's nice to know that we are filling that gap for a lot of people.